What's going on, guys? Gomes here back again on another MLB The Show 19 Diamond Dynasty video. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the Finest program. They just did have their Twitch TV live stream, the developer stream, twitch.tv/Sony San Diego Studio, and they did explain how the Finest is going to do, how we're going to have the voting, and we're going to have 47 brand new Finest players completely blowing out of the water last year's, which I believe was just 18, so they're adding a hell of a lot more. Quickly, if you guys could leave a like down below on this video, definitely helps me out a ton. Subscribe if you guys are new as well on the road to 17,000. Thank you guys so much for the support this year. But basically, it's going to work like this. So I do not know if voting is quite live. They said it was, or they think it's going to be live by tonight. So I will leave the link down to that in the description as well in the comment section. You're going to vote on the Show Nation, the website where you find all the blogs and everything like that. That is where you're going to be able to vote. It's not something on Twitch. You just do the voting on theshownation.com, and it's pretty easy and simple. So originally, we kind of thought there's only going to be 30 players, but this is how it's going to work. You are going to vote 1 out of 3 available players for each of the 30 Major League Baseball teams. So there is going to be at least one Finest player from every team, which I know there was some speculation. Are they going to do it like that, or are they not going to do it like that? I am very happy. So more or less, we're going to have 30 brand new Finest players, 1 for every team, and those are the ones you can vote on. And then there's going to be 17 that are locks, as they say, and that is going to be 8 of the regular positions, so catcher, first, second, short, and third, then left, center, and right field. Then we're going to have 3 relievers, 5 starters, and 1 designated hitter type. So I don't know if that is necessarily going to be an American League player. I'm not really too sure, and that's going to equal 17 players on top of the 30 that we vote for. Whoever gets the highest amount of votes is the one they're going to pick. Even if you want to tactically do a complete troll as a community, I think that would be a lot of fun, because I have a feeling there will be some troll options. They just showed the NL West, but the entire voting will be live probably by the end of tonight, like I said. But we're gonna have 47 players. It's very interesting. We already know one is confirmed, and that is going to be Kirby Yates. He is one of the 3 reliever locks, which you guys could probably make that out. And this is something that is important to mention as well. You can probably be able to tell who we're going to get as our locks by the end of tonight, because we're just going to be able to see by who are the available players in the Finest that we are able to vote on. For example, Nolan Arenado is one of the players that you can vote on from the Colorado Rockies, so that means he is not going to be a lock. So you have to think the third base lock is probably going to be Anthony Rendon, and then it's kind of interesting, and you can map it out a bit and be able to think who are we going to get as our locks. But yeah, it is really interesting. Like I said, I am a fan of how they are doing this. It is going to come into question, how are they going to roll them out, though? We still do not know that. I have a feeling maybe these 30 are going to be a little bit different to access compared to the 17 locks that they have. I don't know if these are going to be a little stifled as far as the overall goes compared to the others, because it's fair to say not every team is the same. And I'm going to go ahead and go through the 5 teams. I think they are actually showing the NL Central right now, but I'm just gonna go over the NL West because that's all you really need to see to get a full idea of it. And like I said, by the end of tonight, they should all be up on the shownation.com, all 30 teams, all 3 of their available candidates, and you guys can go ahead and vote on those. Only once though, you can only vote once for each one, although I do think if you have another PlayStation account, you can probably do that if you want to really push towards one of your candidates to win it. But let's look at the Padres right here. Their 3 available candidates are Manny Machado, Chris Paddock, and Fernando Tatis Jr. And it is as simple as you might expect. You're pretty much just going to press one of the 3, and that is going to lock in your vote, and that is how it works. And whoever at the end of the time, I don't know exactly when, I think it's in middle of October that these cards are going to come out, but they're going to say, of course, when the voting is going to end. Whoever has the most amount, the highest percentage of the votes at that point, that is going to be the one selected, and then they're going to make a card corresponding to that, obviously going to be a diamond. Out of these 3 candidates, I think Tatis has to be the easy choice for me. Manny Machado is not having the greatest season. OPS is fell below 800 by this point. Then Chris Paddock was phenomenal as well, but even though Tatis didn't play the entire season, he got hurt towards the end of the season, which kind of shut him down, and then earlier on in the season, Tatis easily has to be one of the most excited, if not the most exciting players in baseball. So I definitely would like a signature, or not a signature, but a finest Fernando Tatis Jr. So that definitely would be my choice. Here for the San Francisco Giants, we have Kevin Pillar, Will Smith, and Mike Yastrzemski. So you guys can definitely tell, not that these three guys are bad, but you can tell that these might not stack up to every other team. Although Will Smith, I think, definitely could, you know, get a much higher card. Like I said, I'm still not sure how they're going to do this. It's going to be really interesting once we find out if they are going to kind of throttle the overalls to make it more so match up, because if you look at live series, Will Smith, I believe, is like an 83 to 84 overall, and then Yastrzemski and Kevin Pillar are both still silvers, I do believe. So I don't know if they're going to take that into any effect or not, if they're just going to make them all match up to like a 93, 94, 95 overall. We're going to have to wait and see. But out of these three options, I think I definitely pick Will Smith, just for the fact that he is a lefty reliever. I always think those guys are at a premium, and a lot of people seem to really be in favor of Will Smith. Kevin Pillar never really has too much of a bat. He does have some defense, but I think in age he's lost a bit of speed out there in center, which is why I wouldn't be too excited. I mean, come on, just sit there and tell yourself that you're excited for a Kevin Pillar diamond. I know you're not, and Mike Yastrzemski would be cool, but I personally would like to see another lefty reliever, so I would go with Will Smith. Moving on to the Dodgers, their three options are Max Muncy, Justin Turner, and Hyun-Jin Ryu. So that should tell you that Cody Bellinger is going to be a lock, that we are going to see him in the outfield. Then also Walker Buehler might be a lock as well for one of those starting pitchers, but not necessarily, because I do believe Hyun-Jin Ryu had a bit better of a season, so maybe he's not, but obviously Cody Bellinger is going to be there regardless. But out of these three, I'm not really too sure who I'd pick. I think Hyun-Jin Ryu had the best season out of these three. However, I really would not want a diamond card of his, just because he doesn't throw all that hard, and I'm just not a big fan of his card in Diamond Dynasty. I don't think it exactly works that well. I would probably go with Justin Turner in my opinion. A lot of contact, good amount of vision, good amount of power. Max Muncy could be interesting as well. I know a lot of people did really like his 92 overall All-Star card. If he had that kind of defense, I would really be interested in him, because you guys know I'm a sucker for defense. I would go Max Muncy or Justin Turner. I can't really be mad at either of those. For the Colorado Rockies, as I was saying, Nolan Arenado is not a lock, which is interesting, but Rendon had a better year, so that makes sense. Scott Oberg, as if I really hope they show like the percentages of the voting the whole time. I do not think Scott Oberg is getting 5% of this vote. And then Trevor Story, obviously there's only two guys really here. I don't even know why they included Scott Oberg. I don't know why they didn't have Chuck Nasty here instead. He does have a 95 overall card. Maybe that ruled it out. I'm not really too sure. But out of Arenado and Trevor Story, I'm not too sure. I'd probably pick Trevor Story to keep it a bean with you, just for the fact that Nolan Arenado is like 28 speed, and that's a bit of a yikes for me. I'd probably go with Toy Story 4 right here and pick him. Shortstop with a lot of power, a lot of speed, decent amount of defense. I would probably go with Story. Then finally, the Arizona Diamondbacks, we have Archie Bradley, Eduardo Escobar, or Ketel Marte. It's obviously not going to be Archie Bradley for me. It's down to Eddie Escobar and Ketel Marte. Do I go bias here or not? Eddie Escobar used to be a Twin. Of course, you guys know that is my birthplace, my hometown team, although they are not my favorite team. Or Ketel Marte, who I think would be a lot better gameplay-wise. They're both switch hitters. I'd probably go Ketel Marte, though. It's interesting that he's not a lock. I think center field is his primary position, so maybe that's going to say Trout is going to be in the finest, which I'm not too sure, because I'd expect him to get a signature. But Ketel Marte, I would say, is probably fourth in MVP voting behind Rendon, Yelich, and Bellinger, whichever way they fall on the apple tree. But that is interesting. I don't know if they're going position locks or if they're just going three outfielders. If that's the case, then it makes sense. But if it is position locked, the only guy in center field better than Ketel Marte this year was Mike Trout at center field. So I would probably go Ketel Marte, like I said. I just think he's a little bit better than Eddie Escobar. I think he would be a little bit better gameplay wise. They're both very versatile. They can play a lot of places on the diamond, both switch hitters as well, but I would go with Ketel Marte, and that's more or less it. Like I said, they are showing more teams, and it should be live on the ShowNation.com tonight, so you guys can go ahead and get your votes in. If you want, like I said, make 20, 30, 50 other PlayStation accounts and try to fix the voting. I'm not going to judge you. Hell, if it's for the Rays, I might even do it too. It's going to be interesting going through all 30 teams and seeing who they came with for their 3 options. If we have, like, if they did like a Chris Davis for the Orioles, which I think would be amazing, just for like an ultimate troll or something. It's going to be cool to figure out, and I really like this. This is definitely my favorite program all year that they've done. I really like how they have us being able to interact and kind of choose what cards we want. Well, you can't directly choose and make it for yourself. It is based on the community, so if a lot of people agree with you, you can go ahead and do that. Really big fan of how they're doing the finest program this year, and on top of that, it's not just the 31 per every team. Somebody's not going to get shut out necessarily. There will still be people, but they have 17 other guys, so we're getting 47 new diamonds for the finest program. All we can really hope for is that they don't make this unnecessarily hard to get, like a 50,000 pack for a guaranteed finest player, which I don't think is going to happen, but at the same point, you never really know. The guaranteed signature series pack, I believe, was 40,000, but you can get like a 98 overall card. We're going to have to wait and see what happens with it and how you can earn them. I have a feeling that there's going to be moments that you're going to be able to earn at the very least a NAT, a non-sellable finest player, but like I said, middle of October, they are going to fully release that. Otherwise, signature teams is going to wrap up on Friday. They're going to have 3 brand new signature cards. Ron Guidry's one of them, and then I have not seen who the other 2 are. But that's going to wrap up this video. Let me know down below in the comment section what you guys are hoping for. Let me know as it has come out, who are you guys going to vote for? Who do you think it's finest cards? I really like this. Let me know if you guys are as much of a fan of the finest program this year as I am. But if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like down below. Hope you guys are great today. There goes some Saudi.